What up, everybody? It's Calvin. I'm here with my buddy Cade. Say what up, dude.
What's up, guys?
So, Cade has a really cool story where he came from, his background, what he's got going on, and what he's doing now. I'm probably just gonna get out of the way and let him explain it because I think it's probably one of the coolest stories in Texas, just because of like the history and the background and your lineage, which is absolutely awesome. I wish I could say the same thing, but
Thank
dude,
you.
tell all the listeners about your family and where you're from, because it's interesting.
Yeah. So I'm from Fairfield, Texas. It's a little small, I call it a cattle town on I-45. I'm a seventh generation cattle rancher. My family's been running cows in Fairfield for, well over 100 years. So I've done that most of my life. And then kind of decided that I didn't want to do that. I wanted to carve my own path. So for college, I went to culinary school, graduated top of my class in culinary school, and then realized, okay, I can cook. It's cool. It's fun to do, but I was just kind of unfulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to say by God's grace, I stumbled into FFL and insurance.
So, ranching, basically.
Yeah.
Ranching. What was a day in life on the ranch? Tell everybody about that.
Typically, if we're not working cows, we get out there about 7. If we are working cows, sometimes you got to get out there 4:35 before the sun comes up and it gets hot. But other than that, there's no set schedule with it. There's things that need to be done certain times a year. But other than that, it's really whatever needs to be done on the ranch, whether that's fixing fence, working cows, baling hay, moving hay, really just anything that needs to be done.
Do you think that ranching's harder than selling insurance?
Physically, yes. I think mentally, no.
I think that I would probably choose selling insurance over ranching any day, just because I know, being in the Army, rain, snow, sleet, hail, whatever, you're out there working. Here, we're sitting in a comfortable, nice AC controlled environment, and all that happens, the worst day is someone that tells you no, right?
Yeah, sometimes you get cussed out, but other than that, the hardest part is getting told no. And once you get told no enough times, it doesn't really faze you anymore. So,
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting why when people come to me and they're like, "Hey, like I'm having the worst day ever. Like this person told me no, or the leads suck, or I can't sell anything, or whatever excuse you get for that day," and you're like, "Dude, everything's gonna be all right," right?
yeah.
We were talking a little bit yesterday about like what you did to get into the industry, and I don't think I've met anyone that has done what you've done to ensure or lock in their success. This is definitely not a guaranteed business, and it's not a guarantee that anybody's going to make it. But what you did and how you leveraged, you pretty much over leveraged everything. But like, what did you do to make sure that you were going to be successful in the business in the beginning?
Yeah, so in the beginning, man, this is now we're in April. This is my 4th month in the business. I wasn't really taking it super serious because I had another little job in insurance before, and I didn't like it. So I was just like, okay, this is just kind of just like that. And then there was actually kind of, and this is like, we didn't talk about this yesterday, but like mid-February, I was kind of ready to give up again.
Mm-hmm.
And then cool enough is I sold my little brother on joining the team.
Yeah.
And once I did that, I knew that I had to make this happen, because now not only is my little brother looking up to me as his older brother, now I'm going to be directly responsible for making him money and letting him build a life of his own.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, it's just like I didn't have any money to buy leads. I was just living off of savings. So I tried to go to a credit union in Dallas, where I'm from, and get a loan. They wouldn't approve me. So I went back down to my hometown bank, and the only way that they would give me a loan is if I leverage my truck.
So you took out a loan against your truck.
Yeah. It's not bad though. It's like I got 3 years to pay it back.
Yeah.
But if I don't pay it back, they take my truck. So that really lit a fire under me to just like get things going and kind of just bet on myself.
And I think a lot of people miss that in the beginning. They're just like, they think they're going to come out of the gate making bread right away and that it's going to be a cakewalk, when most of the time it's not at all. It's probably the opposite for most people. And you're the only person I've ever met to actually go and bet on themselves and put like something that was like a vehicle that's already paid off that you have no payment on, and leverage that, put that on a loan so that way you could use the money to invest in yourself, invest in the business, buy leads, get around people that are making money, and use that money to help you make more money. And I think, dude, I mean, you've been here for 4 months, and I would probably say it's probably paid off at this point in time. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely paid off. Not even financially for me, but it's paid off in my personal development. It kind of forced me to become somebody that I've never been. Like now that I know I have this like metaphorical noose hanging over my head, and if I don't do what I need to do, then my stuff's gone.
Yeah, but worst case scenario, you learned a lot of stuff, and I mean, at the end of the day, obviously you already, that's not going to happen. But like worst case scenario, you lose like a materialistic item.
Yeah.
That was worst case scenario. It's not like you're going to jail or nothing. You know?
I mean, it was just kind of like a no-brainer for me. That was my only option. My credit was kind of shot, and I couldn't get any other credit cards. So that was literally my only option to make it in this business. So there was really no way out other than doing that.
It kind of reminds me of what happened to me in the beginning. I don't really talk about it a lot because it's kind of stupid, but when I got out of the military, I joined this company as a production supervisor, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to pay for everything to move out there. Life's going to be dandy. You're going to have this awesome work-life balance, and you're going to make all this money and blah, 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 blah." It was like just a corporate America standard production supervisor job. I didn't realize, because I didn't read the fine print, I was just so used to signing stuff in the Army, that it said if I don't work there for 18 months, every dollar they paid to move me there, I have to pay back if I quit.
Really?
And I was there for 9 months, and then I was like, this sucks ass. I hate this.
Wow.
And so I got into insurance, and I backed myself in the corner because I was like, I don't want to go back to that job. So what I have to do is I have to make or sell at least $16,000 it was more than that. It was like, I thought it was 16, but it was actually like $24,000 to be able to quit, pay them back, and still move. Wow. So like my first, like basically $24,000 I made in the business, I just used that to pay to quit the other job, basically.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
And that was my motivation originally, because I was like, hey, I have 2 weeks of PTO to figure out how to sell insurance and to make a living and bet on myself. And if I don't, whatever I spent on leads is a wash, and I'm still stuck here, and I guess I don't have to pay them back. But if I want to leave, no matter what, I got to pay them back to move. So it's like, like, where do you want to be in life, right? And most people don't back themselves into a corner or put themselves into an uncomfortable position to be able to make something great of themselves, Right. But like so for you guys don't know, Cade lives in Dallas, Fort Worth area. We opened an office in Austin, and now he drives here every week and stays with a buddy. Tell everybody about the buddy thing.
Yeah, so two of my best friends that I grew up with, they both live in Austin, and I kind of told them the situation, and they were like, yeah, dude, I got room. You could set up an air mattress. Like, it's totally fine. So every Monday morning, I get up at 4:30 and drive down here and come straight to the office, and then go to one of their houses and set up my air mattress and sleep on my blow-up bed.
And you don't have to do that. You're doing that because you're trying to get around other people that are selling.
Yeah, it just, in my head, after I came here for the first lock-in, when you guys opened up the office, I saw you and I saw Zach and Mahmood, and I knew all three of y'all were going to be down here. And, that's what I wanted to be. That's where I want to go, is where you guys are at. So it was almost just like a no-brainer for me to, I'm going to be uncomfortable for 5 nights a week sleeping on air. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when I'm going to look back in 5-6 years, I'm going to think that was awesome.
Yeah. And you only have to sell or help a couple of families a week during that process, which you'll get live feedback on, outside Zoom, and the ROI already pays for itself.
Yeah. The first week I came down here, it was the first time I'd been able to get coaching from people in real time. And I remember I was on the phone, and you could hear me from a little cubicle over, And my heart's so big. I want to help everybody.
Yeah.
This guy was just telling me about how he doesn't have a job. He doesn't have any money. There's no way he could do this. And I was just like trying to help him.
Mhm.
And then you just yelled at me across the office to hang up the phone. And then I just hung up the phone. And ever since then, I was like, okay, this is like what I can do. And like, I don't need to let these people like drag me down if I can't help them.
Yeah.
And that first week I came down here, that was first week of March.
Mm-hmm.
And that week I submitted double of what I had done for the last 2 months in the business.
That's a huge gain. That's a huge leap.
Yeah.
Congrats, actually. I never
Thank
actually
you.
could tell you congrats on that.
Thank you.
Dude, like your dedication to like invest in yourself, I think is unmatched compared to most people in the business. So I'm super proud of you, number one. And number two, you're just all around a good dude to be around, and we're glad to have you in the office. But back to, yesterday we were talking about like hanging fence, basically. I'm probably saying that wrong, but
It gets across.
putting fence posts in the ground and running barbed wire. Dude, like I have helped my dad a little bit with stuff at our cabin, but I couldn't imagine running 5,000 acres or plus of fence. How long does it take to do like 100 yards, or what does that look like?
So I mean, if you're by yourself, it'll take you a while. But we just like a quick story. We have a border on our ranch that is 5 miles long. And the fence over is the next people's property, so we had to put a fence right there. And we had a crew of 4 guys, and we call it the 5 mile fence because a feat like that you're not going to let just slip by.
Yeah.
And that took probably close to 2.5 months.
2.5
I would
months.
say.
That's wild.
Yeah, 6 days a week.
How does someone manage that fence, or like how do you figure out if the fence is broken or cattle are escaping, or how do you figure that kind of stuff out?
Yeah, so it's kind of hard sometimes because, which my brother does most of it, my older brother. Every group of cows that we have, they're in certain fields. Each field has a name, and that's kind of how you keep track of things. And some people will think it's weird, but we'll literally my grandpa goes out there on Saturday, and he drives around the whole property because he loves it. And if he sees somewhere where there's fence broken, if there's something that needs to be fixed, that just gets written down on the agenda for the next week.
Ah, so they're basically doing perimeter security.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's when I was in the Army, that we did that. Like if we were on patrol bases, whatever, we'd always have perimeter security, and then there'd be like a timeline of who's checking when, how often, and basically, preventing enemy infiltration, which is probably a similar concept, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah, it's most of our damage comes from hogs. 'Cause they tear up fence and they put big holes in the ground that can really mess up your equipment. And I mean, the equipment you're running can get up to $500,000 for a piece of equipment. So
one piece?
Yeah, like a big tractor or something.
That's crazy.
And if you hit a big hog hole, then that can just mess your whole operation up. So we're definitely checking just for stuff like that, where they've run through fences and where they've dug big holes in the ground.
$500,000 tractor or buying $1,500 a week in leads?
Which one would I rather have?
Yeah.
The tractor's pretty cool, dude. It's got AC, and I can plug my phone into it and play my music.
Probably got Sirius radio, too.
Yeah.
But from an ROI standpoint, it probably takes a long time. It probably takes a good amount of time to make your money back from selling cattle to pay off that piece of equipment, where it'd probably take you one policy to pay off $1,500 in leads.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do $500 a week in leads right now, and average on one sale, I'm tripling that.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer. I'll pick $1,500 in leads over the tractor.
Yeah. I mean, like you pop a tire on a tractor, that's probably a couple grand, I imagine, right?
Yeah. And you got to get somebody out there to fix it because you can't really move the tractor. So you got to pay for somebody to drive out there and fix it. In most cases, luckily my older brother, he went to diesel mechanic school.
Oh,
so he's kind of like our everything guy. But if he's not there, then yeah, we have a problem.
That's cool. You guys you have a whole entire, like, you guys could pretty much have a TV show.
Yeah. It'd be fun.
It's like that one, it's like Yellowstone basically, but Texas version.
Yeah, that show is actually really accurate, minus all the murder. Yeah, it's a really good show if you want to know about ranch life.
That's awesome. I love that. And you guys also run. It's not just running cattle. You guys also do like hunting operation, right?
Yeah, so we do white-tailed deer hunts. We have some really massive white-tailed deer. It's all low fence. We do thermal hog hunts. We do the helicopter hog hunts.
Really?
Yeah.
Helicopter
And
hog
then-
hunts out there too.
Yeah, we do it like once or twice a year because you kind of gun so many of them down that it decreases the population.
That's good.
Which from a ranching standpoint, you want the hogs low, but
Yeah.
from the hunting business side of it, you kind of want them high. So it's like a
It's a good
kind of
balance.
tipping the scales a little bit. And
Yeah.
then we do duck hunts as well.
Dang, you have some ponds out there as well.
Yeah, do some fishing and stuff as well.
It's a whole entire agriculture operation.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's super cool. I definitely want to make it up that way. We did a helicopter hog hunt in Temple, Texas, and we only did it for a couple hours. It's a little because it's pretty time consuming. I mean, not time consuming. It's kind of expensive
Yeah.
because they got to pay for aircraft fuel. But it was pretty fun, honestly. Like I would definitely do it again. I highly recommend it for anyone that hasn't done it. Is it kind of like similar, like if you do a 4-man crew up there and you kind of just fly around and shoot predators?
Yeah. So our helicopters that we use, they're not 4-man.
Mhm.
There's a pilot and then there's 2 people.
Okay.
So we're just one guy's on the left, one guy's on the right, and then we're just kind of looking for them and then just spotting them out and gunning them down pretty much.
That's awesome.
It sounds inhumane to people that don't know, but you got to do it.
Well, hogs are basically an infestation in Texas, right?
Yeah, you'll never get rid of them. I think it's 3 liters a year for each mom, and each litter is probably 8 or 12 hogs.
That's
So
a lot
I mean,
of hogs.
they'll be around forever, but
They multiply quick.
yeah.
So everybody I'm sure you have a lot of people in the food service industry that, I mean, you told me the other day, but like how much were you making a week when you were being a chef?
Yeah, so I was probably making like $400 to $500 a week, just cooking, and then I would serve a little bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't enough for me. I mean, nobody.
So like
nobody
$400 a week?
Yeah, $400 or $500 a week, and nobody can really live off that, especially in the big city. So, yeah, it was. I was going back down to the ranch to work and like just doing everything I could to make extra money, and
Mhm.
I had to get out of it.
So basically doing your day job, like being a cook and serving, trying to make ends meet because you enjoyed doing it and it was fun, but the money wasn't there. And then you went to the ranch on the weekends or after work to make up for the difference in income to be able to pay your bills.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of work, man.
It is, yeah.
So for all the people that are in the industry making similar amount of money, what would you tell them?
There's other options out there, man. I know a lot of people can really get sucked into the life of serving, and I mean, you're meeting people all day, you're talking to people, you're already selling food. So I mean, I know you don't want to do that forever. There is other options out there, and I'm living proof that you can make it happen. And I want to help anybody that does actually want to make that change and want to make that happen.
If they want to work with you, which I'm sure most of them probably would because you're an outstanding human being, how would they get a hold of you? How they call you, text you, Instagram? What do they?
Yeah, we can do Instagram. I don't really want to give my personal number out on YouTube or anything, but yeah, my Instagram is Cade Hill 09. You can just send me a message on there, and then if it's something that you want to do, you want to talk about it, I'm available pretty much 24 hours, man.
But you're not looking to hire anybody. You're looking for people that are wanting to make a change, that are coachable, that are not going to tell you that they already know how to do it. You're looking for someone that actually wants to make a difference in their life, change their income, and be willing to be coachable, right? Because it's hard to be successful in this business without being coachable.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to have discipline, and you need to be a hard worker at the end of the day, but being coachable is going to be the biggest thing that you can do to change your life. Because like me being down here with Calvin and Zach, if I wasn't willing to listen to what you guys had to say, then I wouldn't have had that week where I doubled what I wrote in the last 2 months.
Right.
So I would say, yeah, I'm looking for people who are coachable, people who want to change their lives and just make a difference in the world, man.
And change their income.
And their income, yeah.
That's the number one thing I messed up in the beginning when I was building my team out and building my business was I would just hire anybody and it bit me real hard in the beginning. And I realized that I'm only going to hire people that I like, that I want to work with, and that I think that will actually listen to what I'm trying to tell them, so that way they can be successful instead of telling me they already know how to do it or they did that, or, you know, and you have to like micromanage them. You're not looking to micromanage someone. You're looking to teach someone how to do it so that they can actually change their difference in their family and change the future for their income and their family and where they want to live and be able to do what they want to do and go on cool trips and get paid what they're worth, right?
Yes, sir. And I think that's the biggest thing to stress in this is I don't want to be these people's boss.
Right.
Like I'm in this because I don't have a boss. So I'm not going to be your boss, but I'm going to be there to help you if you need me to help you. Like that's how it was. That's how it was for me coming in.
Yeah.
All you guys were so willing to help me that it would just be wrong of me to not help people that want to do this.
Right. And you're selling, and your primary focus is like retirement plans and IULs, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I just do IULs.
So if you don't know what an IUL is, hit up Cade. He'll probably explain to you how it works, and he'll give you the nuts and bolts, but it can be used for multiple purposes. It can be used for, you know, retirement plans. It can be used for building income. It can be used for protection. It can be used for a bunch of different things, but it's probably the most usable and best insurance product out there, in my opinion, because of how flexible it is and how many things it can do and how many lives I've seen it change for myself. And if you're interested in getting one of those, definitely hit up Cade. He'll probably square you away real quick and explain to you how it works. And if you're interested in doing those types of products, definitely hit him up as well. But before we wrap this up, is there anything else you want to tell the listeners?
Just bet on yourself. That's all I'll say.
I think we'll end it on that. Hit up Cade, and we'll talk to you all soon.